Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to this week's weekly market analysis, Monday, 22nd of May. Before we get started, as always, please understand that any advice in today's session is of a general nature only, and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Okay, let us have a look at what we have in terms of news coming up this week and what's happened in just recently in the markets, and we'll try and digest it all and make sense and see where it's going to take us. Uh, Last week, well, particularly towards the back of the week, the US dollar came under heavy selling pressure. Okay, with softer economic reports played a key role in it, but the real decline came from President Trump's political trouble. The real reason is that was the real reason why it came down so quickly. Essentially, just for anybody who doesn't know, it was the investigation into the ties between the Trump's presidential campaign and the Russian influence, which sparked talks of impeachment. So that was pretty much for the US dollar, the greatest moving factor for the US. On the euro front, the euro basically is at its strongest level in the last 6 months. A lot of it is on the back of the US dollar weakness. However, the fundamentals are on the euro side, and basically the political risk in France and Germany are decreasing, which has helped the euro significantly. GBP has finally broken above that 130 level, so it is a psychological barrier. We would like to see it continue and get through to about 130.50 before the market is really convinced at sort of where it's going. For the commodity currencies, US CAD was the best mover. Okay, it made a significant comeback, had some strong data, and also on the back of the US dollar weakness. Aussie dollar was pretty much driven by the US dollar last week, and we'll continue to see how we move along. Now, in terms of what's happening this week that is about to unfold for us, let's take a look at the highlights. I think for the Canadian dollar, the interest rate decision and monetary policy statements from Canada happening on Thursday at midnight our time. It's probably the biggest biggest moving event for the week. No one expects really interest rates to change, but nevertheless, what their views and what their monetary policies may be usually sparks the movement. The GBP has got quite a bit of data this week. We have Prime Minister May will be speaking, inflation report hearings, and second estimates for the GDP on Thursday. Euro, we have the Eurogroup meetings, which is happening pretty much all day today. President Draghi is also speaking on Wednesday, and the German info climate number is probably the biggest moving event there on Tuesday over here, where I'm highlighting with my cursor. And finally, I think the US, we have FOMC meeting minutes, so this is a big market moving event. Crude oil will affect Canadian dollar more so than US dollar. Unemployment claims, durable goods, and preliminary GDP. So that's all the most impacting news that we have this week. I believe because of the combinations that we have, the currency that's going to be the most impacted directly by news is going to be the US CAD. Okay, so any US CAD traders out there, please be aware of that. Also, please note that all the times that I'm showing you here are in my local time, which is Australian Eastern Standard Time. Okay, any questions, please type them in as we go. I will do my best to answer them. Let's move on, have a quick update on our trading challenge. We have triggered a couple more trades. I had forgotten to update it, but I have updated now, so if you go to the website, they will be updated. We got stopped out, unfortunately, on a Euro USD trade, so we took a loss on that one. And our USD CAD trade, which we've been in it for a while, so can I just get a show of hands? Who's still in this trade? So I'm still in 2 weeks into the trade, and I'm very, very close to my T1 target. It's taken a long time to do its thing, but hopefully we do hit T1 and it helps us out. Okay, so that's the US CAD. So via the first method, 2-to-1 method, there's my results. Okay, I've added an extra loss on the Euro USD, and my US CAD is my 10th trade, which is still currently open, so I'm not including that in the tally. Via the second method, it just so happens that the result is identical, but we are very close to taking the risk off the table with the US CAD trade. Currently at the moment, those are the numbers as I'm showing them to you. Alright, time to move forward, and let me bring my trading platform up and we'll start off on the Aussie dollar. Okay, someone's making a comment just on the trading challenge that they closed the trade off manually after 10 days because they thought it wasn't going anywhere, and this is just a part of our trading rules. So if you're going to trade, the average time that this method will keep me in a trade, it probably averages maybe about 6 or 7 trading days. You know, sometimes the trade will finish in one day. Sometimes it takes about 3 weeks to finish. Okay, I am trading a daily chart and I'm trading support levels, resistance levels, geometric patterns. So that's why the trade can be in there that long. So I believe the US CAD trade, we're 11 days or 11 trading days into it, but it's just over 2 weeks. Okay, all right, let's kick off. Let's have a look at the at the Aussie USD. Okay, so what do we got here? Let's have a look. I have drawn in the bottom line. Okay, so the bottom line, I've picked up this point, this one here, and I was projecting to see if we were going to come back down. So I left that line in there because that's what I like to do. Now I noticed that I've got a top line up here. Okay, now if you go into a 4-hour chart, you'll probably see it a bit nicer. It might look a little bit nicer on a 4-hour chart. There's the line. And we can clearly see we've got 1, we got 2, and I'll count this as 3. These 2 points can be included as well on a 4-hour chart. So there's plenty of touches there. So the first option is, can we get a trade-off on the 4-hour chart? Now the answer is over here, basically nothing came up, so I can't. So let me leave it alone and let's look on a daily. On a daily, we've got, I'll keep the bottom line there just to remind me of what I'm doing. But essentially from this point, we can say that we are in downtrend. Okay, so we were looking for a pullback. I spotted this pullback in my daily call last week. However, the market broke up before it broke down, so it didn't trigger, so there was no harm done. Right now I can notice that this candle here is the highest candle. So if the current candle, this one over here, remains inside of the other one, we will get a fractal tomorrow, and you will get an inside candle, which basically gives you an opportunity to trade it down. 2 reasons to trade it down: the resistance line, which we've marked out those levels, which we're happy with, and second reason is downtrend, reversing back, and continuation. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? So what we've got to do is we have to wait for the current candle, this one here. We've got to wait for that candle, sorry, not the green one, for this candle here to finish, and let's see if it can remain an inside candle, and if the answer is yes, then we can trade it in the downward direction. Okay, so everybody good with that? We all understand what's happening there? Great. Let's move on. Let's have a look at the Euro USD. Okay, this was the trade that stopped us out. Just to remind everybody, this was the setup that we traded. We had the big engulfing candle and the trade started good. It got to that gap. I've got this grey area there marked out because this is still the gap, okay, that has not been filled in yet. So the market still knows that that gap is there, so we're kind of just seeing what may or may not happen regarding this gap, but nevertheless I've got it marked out there. We headed towards there, and then all of a sudden, bang, market's gone the other direction and we got stopped out over here somewhere. Okay, so the way this chart reads right now, we are in kind of uncharted territory. What's going to be key here is if the Euro USD is going to continue to give it an honest drive forward, I believe we probably need to stay above this level. So let me mark it out. I think we have to stay above this level that I've just marked there, which is the 110 level, probably even a little bit lower. Let's say about there. So what may happen is this may do a little bit of a correction and it's going to head back. Now let me get rid of those parallel lines because they're no good to us anymore. So the market may make a correction towards this area here, and whatever happens here, there could be an opportunity to buy it again at that level right there. Okay, now if it breaks this level and it starts going into this direction, well then the gap is definitely starting to play back into the market. All right, so this level here is key to the whole equation. All right, so at the moment where we currently are, we do nothing. We wait. I believe there will be some kind of a correction, but I'm not willing to trade that correction. Okay, I want to trade over here. This is where I'm looking for the trade. At this level, I'm looking for that trade. And possibly I could be looking for this one. Depends how it looks as we set up into it. Okay, so there you have it. Couple of questions. Just give me a moment. Let me just try and read the question. Okay, someone's just making a comment if they want to practice price action on 1 hour. Okay, look, by all means feel free to do so, but just remember what price action really means. When you have an inside candle, it really means, if we're looking at on a daily chart, it means that for an entire day the market traded at a smaller range than the previous day. So it represents true pressure. If you say for an entire hour the market traded tighter than the previous hour, that to me doesn't represent as much pressure. Okay, so I will say feel free to experiment. We all need to find what we feel comfortable with. Okay, but I prefer to do it on a daily, and minimum that I would look at for me is a 4 hour. But I do know people that do price action of 15-minute charts as well, so feel free to experiment. Paul's asking me, do we have a new channel up? Oh, let me try and see. Are you including this point with this point, Paul? Like that? Let me just draw it. It's the only one that I can kind of see. I kind of like this one actually, but it's not the one you were talking about. Okay, let me give me a second. Starting on the 17th of which month? April. Give me 1 second. Here. Like this. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just drop into a 4 hour to basically what Paul's saying to me is, do we have a channel here, there, to there? Either way, look, this is a point of interest because it's being caught on that one and it's also being caught on this one. So I'm really liking this point. Give me 1 second. I might be able to take a trade here. I'm just going to drop into a 4 hour chart. just making some adjustments. Just trying to see how this can work. Let me look at the daily again. Okay, it's valid. Who likes this channel, by the way? My chart's looking a little bit messy, but the channel I'm talking about is, I'm concentrating on this line here and this line here. So we got touch there, touch there, touch there, and we've touched, and we're here again right now. Who likes that one? Is it too steep? On a 4-hour chart, it looks alright. On a daily chart, it looks a little bit steep. Okay, but if you're trading off a 4-hour, you can do it. What I actually kind of like about it is that both channels are locking into this area here. It's a real hot spot. So if I was to trade this, I'll get rid of the 4-hour chart. Let me zoom back in. The bottom line is gold. I like it. Very, very good. 3 touches. This one and this one. Okay, so what we can do is, if we're getting stubborn and I'm looking for a reason to short sell Euro USD, okay, let's wait. Let's see what the current candle looks like. Let's have a look at these 2 candles tomorrow. We could get a setup to basically justify a move back down. All right. So let's have a look at this one tomorrow based on a daily candle. Okay, let's carry on. GBP USD. Okay, GBP USD, I marked out that region there, region of interest. Let me zoom in. We haven't taken the 130.50, we got to 130.47. There could be a trade here. There's an inside candle right there. We haven't broken the low yet. So it's in reverse colors though. However, even though they're reverse colors, if it was to break the low, okay, it would signify that, you know, that the trading pressure has pushed in the other direction. So I'm looking at this one. Let me zoom in a bit better so we can all see it. There's an inside candle right here. Okay, so we could even, if today stays within that, you could get 2 of them in a row. But we can definitely put a pending order right now. Okay, but if we break that high, we've got to come back and cancel the pending order out. Okay, so Hubert, which chart are you talking about? Is a rising wedge? Which one? GBP USD. Alan, which one was the daily call trade? GBP USD. Was that today? I feel like I've looked at like 1,000 charts and I don't remember. That's okay. All right. So, oh, okay. So, got it. All right. So give me 1 second. So today, in today's daily call, I had this. That's what you guys are telling me. Is that correct? Okay, great. All right, so there's 2 reasons to possibly take this trade right now. So there's already an inside candle there. So if you want to place your pending order, go for it. Actually, let me do that right now. So it can be based off the rising wedge, but it can also be based off that support level. Now just note though, that if I do trigger, that's my trigger, there's my stop. So 1 to 1 is going to take me pretty close to the other side. So this is an example where, let's say we trigger and we get to that level where you may want to apply the method where after T1 you grab the stop and you move it to break even. Okay, once it gets to the other side, if it breaks through, there's actually a lot of momentum that it could go easily and hit your second target. Okay, but if the bottom line holds and bounces back up, we could go back to these levels and we could get stopped out. So you need to consider this and see how you want to handle this type of situation, because there's not enough room to hit T2 because of this bottom line. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about? Craig is asking, does an inside candle still count with what looks to be like a spinning top? So he's saying there's a candle that looks like this. Oops, sorry about that. And then there's another one that looks like that. And this one here is the kind of spinning top kind of candle. Okay, or a doji or something like that. The answer is yes, it's still inside those parameters. Okay, so it's still inside. Okay, so let me measure out. So I need a pencil. Okay, so my entry level will be 129, 24-ish. 129, 24. My stop's going to be about 140. So what does that mean? Dollars per pip, so 250 divided by 140. It's $1.78 per pip, but I've got to convert that to Australian dollars. It's about $1.30. How much is $1.30 in volume, guys? $1.30. How much is that in volume? See who's on the money. You guys still out there, or am I just talking to myself? Bob, yes, you're very close. That's $1.40. Yep. Alex, half asleep. Thank you for your honesty. Miles, no, that's a bit too small. The answer is, we know that 0.01 equals how much? 10 cents. Okay. Oops, sorry. 10 cents. We know that therefore that 0.1 is equal to $1. So $1.30 is 0.13. Does everybody follow that mathematics? Good. Okay, I will eventually one day I'll start to use Supreme when I do this, but I prefer to take you through the paces so that everybody is aware logically. It just makes more sense to me. So this is going to be a sell stop. This, what do we say, 0.13 is how much I want. The entry price is 29.24. There it is. My stop 130.53. Let's make it, and the target. I'm just going to put anything right now and adjust it in 1 second. Place. Here we go. There we go. Okay, now when I look at the trade now, you can see my entry there in this direction. You can see my stop there. It looks correct, that part of it, but this part is not looking crash hot to me. And I'm being dictated by this line. If I'm going to trade a rising wedge, I kind of have to respect this line a little bit. So what I'm going to do is as follows. Alright, I'm going to cancel the order back out of the market. And I'm going to hope that if tomorrow this becomes another inside candle, it will get me an entry from higher up. That will be there still. And then I've got more room down here. Does that make sense to you? So technically the trade is correct, but it's not giving me the risk reward that I want on the trade. So basically I'm risking more money than what I'm potentially going to be able to make. So it just doesn't make sense, this particular trade. Not like this. Okay? So let me cancel it out. And sometimes this will happen, okay? So, oops, not that one. This one here, cancel. Delete. Okay, there you go. So GBP USD, I do have a trade. If anybody likes it, please go ahead and feel free to take it. But because the numbers don't add up for me, I'm not going to take it. Alright, moving on. US yen. Oh, what's this? Oh, I can't see nothing on this. Okay, I can kind of half see things, but not enough to warrant a trade. I'm just going to sit the US yen out. Okay, there's nothing here. I'm going to sit the US yen out. 1 second, got a couple of questions on the US yen. Question is, do I think that the price is at a resistance? Because I've got this line drawn in. Do I feel that that's a resistance there? It's kind of tricky because I kind of don't. I'm not I'm not 100% sure. Okay, had it gone further down and come back like that, possibly. This candle was so strong down, it's very strange to see it pop back up. So because there's too much confusion for me, I'm just sitting this one out. Alright, so I technically can't answer that question because I haven't seen this kind of pattern happen that much before. So I'm going to sit it out. Okay, so when in doubt, like if it's one of my rules and something that is solid, like I'm happy to trade it. This one, it kind of feels like it could be resistance, but it just does not look right. So, and I don't have a rule for this one, so we're doing nothing. Euro yen. Okay, euro yen. Here's a courageous pattern. Who thinks that these three candles make up a reversal pattern? Can I get a show of hands? Who thinks? If you think yes, say yes. If you think no, say no. Don't worry about what's happened over here because this is going to confuse you. Just look at those three candles in there. Is that a reversal pattern, yes or no? There's a lot of people in the room, not many people answering. So if you don't know, just give me a question mark. At the moment, we've got slightly more people saying yes. It's very, very close. So possibly I could say yes as well. So let me draw out the classic example. candle goes down. Technically, we get a candle like this, and the next candle, and it'll be a different color, will close above halfway. Okay, this one is very, very similar. The only thing that's different is it's got a little bit of a wick. It's not huge. It's this little bit right there. It's not huge, but it is a little bit of a wick. So this comes down to your personal taste. Normally, if I saw that pattern on a resistance point, I would trade it. Now, is this a resistance point or is this a support level? What do we think now, guys? Alex is correct. It's continuation. Definitely it's continuation, but now when I draw this line, could we also say it's previous resistance now possibly going to act as support? What do we think? Okay, good. So then therefore what does that mean? Can I take this trade right now? Yes or no? What does it mean? The answer is yes. Okay, and technically you should have taken it this morning when it opened right there. So if you're taking it now, you'll be getting it at a worse price. Let me just measure out. Let's see what the consequences are. So now I'm getting it 35 pips worse. The original stop would have been about 180, 190. So now it's going to be up to you personally if you want to take it. Okay, so I'm not going to take it right now, but I'll let you guys make a decision. So, and I'm trying, I don't want to influence anybody, but the setup is correct. That is a support level. I did not see this one this morning. Otherwise, possibly this one would have been my um, chart of the day because it's nice as well. Okay. Okay. Someone's making a comment, and this comment I'll read it out. I won't say who it is because this comment is very typical, and many of you might be thinking this, and it smells of fear. Someone's saying that stop is too far for me, or I have to move, my trade will have to move too much. And that comment is generally dictated because when we look over here, we're going like, oh my God, this has already moved this much. I don't think it's going to go much more. So it's like a fear mentality. So this is why when whatever your rules are, you just follow your rules. And if your rule says take the trade, well then that comment or that feeling, that emotion, we try and suppress it. Okay, so it doesn't matter if the stop is 60 pips or 200 pips, we are still going to change the size of the trade to suit the risk factor. Okay, so this one, like I said, the only reason I'm not taking it right now is because it's already moved 35 for me and I don't want to influence anybody else, but if you want to take it by all means, go for it. Okay, I did not see this one this morning. Okay, I'll move on. Kiwi dollar. Okay, this is a really nice falling wedge. I really like this one, and I believe we could get an opportunity very, very shortly. That's why I've drawn it out right here. Let me go into a 4-hour chart. Let's see how it looks. It's looking good. Okay, so what if you really, really want to hop on this one, we might get a chance on the 4-hour chart, maybe later tonight. If not, we got to probably wait, I think, at least 2 or 3 more candles before we see if we get the setup that we're looking for. Okay, Craig's just made a really nice comment. Trade what you see, not what you think. Thank you, Craig. That's a nice one. Alright, so Kiwi dollar, I see nothing, so I'm going to wait. But we're very, very close. Alright, so on a daily chart, we're probably about 3 candles away. On a 4-hourly chart, we're probably 3 or 4 candles away as well, but that could happen tonight. So see, depending on how badly you want this one, look at it later tonight. US CAD, let's move along. Okay, this is the trade that has tested our nerves. You can see that my trade's still open, and I started this trade right over here, these 2 candles there. Okay, instantly I went backwards in the trade, even got very close to getting stopped out over there, and then all of a sudden we've made this move down. You can see my target right over here. Okay, so I'm very, very close to it, not there yet. I'm still riding this trade. Okay, so that's my US CAD trade. That's the trade right there. Alright, so because I'm still in the trade, I'm not going to do anything. Let me, if I really wanted to, maybe over here I could try and do something. No, I won't. Okay, I'm leaving this one alone. I'm still currently short, so I will continue to ride it out. Gold. Really nice trend there. Nice trend line, sorry, a support line. Okay, my gut instinct here is that I believe this is probably going to narrow in. I don't think that's the correct place yet. I think possibly this line, we're going to get an opportunity to possibly do this. So this level here, I don't know where that level is just yet. So this is a level that I cannot trade yet. But once it hits that level and it starts to come down, then I can lock in the top line, and then when we get to this level, this is the level that I will try and trade. Okay, we all clear on that? So right now, this is just my experience. I'm going to leave this top line there because I think it's going to do something like that. If it doesn't, I don't really care. It's not about being right or wrong. It's just really about me, the next time that I look at this chart, that it instantly reminds me of what I'm kind of trying to looking for. Okay, if there's something new, then I'll delete the line and I'll redraw something else on it. Robert's asking me, why not short on the top line? Okay, so give me Robert, can you tell me, is this what you mean? Are you saying for me to draw the line like this? Is that what you're saying? And try and short it up here somewhere? No, where the line was. Okay. Like that, you mean? Is that what you mean, Robert? Like where it is right now? Okay. The reason I won't try and short it right, so Robert's asking, why don't I just try and short the line right here? Because right now, that's not a proper line yet. It's only got one touch. I don't know where the second touch is going to be at this point in time. I've just drawn it in because that's where I think it's going to happen, but I'm not willing to trade that. I will only lock that line in once the market goes to the line and then bounces off. When it does that, then I can say yes, that is my official second touch, and the line locks in. Okay, so I cannot trade it off this level because right now I've only got one touch. Okay, the only other option that you may want to do is if you do it as a horizontal line like this, okay, which can also still be a triangle because it could still also be like this. If you do it this way, at this point, at least this time you can try and justify that this is a double top and it's a little bit aggressive, but over there maybe you want to take that trade. So that's another option which I didn't see just a moment ago, but that's another option there. Okay? All right. Last one, oil. Let's have a look at oil. Okay. What have I got here? All right. It looks like I've got a bit of a channel. One touch, two touches, one touch, and we're coming up to the second touch. So we can try and look for a trade over here right away. Now remember, trading on touch 2 is the aggressive trade because it's not locked in yet. This could continue to go up a little bit more and therefore we don't have a channel at all. But if you are a little bit aggressive and you want to attempt it, at least wait for some price action, see if you can get it, and then you can try and trade there. Okay? Alternatively, or the more correct method is we are expecting a turnaround over here, let it happen. When it comes back down here, this is when you can take the trade. All right, but I started to draw the channel because it could give us a trading opportunity. Okay. All right, let me go back quickly. I'll recap everything. I'll answer a couple of questions that are floating around. Aussie dollar. What have I done? Aussie dollar. We're waiting for an inside candle. Possibly tomorrow we could short Aussie dollar. Two reasons: resistance, top line, and continuation downtrend. Euro USD. We possibly could have a trade off this new channel that we found. We got to wait for this current candle to finish, and we'll look at it tomorrow. GBP USD. We got a rising wedge. There is a trade there right now. I didn't like the reward to risk ratio, so I've left it alone. Hopefully tomorrow I could get a smaller inside candle and it could give me, it changes the risk reward and the trade may be on. US yen, we said we're going to leave it alone. Euro yen, there is a reversal pattern there. I'm a little bit late on the trade, otherwise I would have jumped in. Some of you may want to put a pending order and catch it back at the original price. Let's see how you go. Kiwi dollar, nice falling wedge. This is the best looking pattern for the day. I think this is the one I like the best, but let's wait and see. Let's see if we can trigger a trade shortly. US CAD, we're currently short, so we're not touching it. Gold, where we think we're going to start to converge into a tightening triangle. Let me just draw it the way that I think it's possibly going to happen, so I'm just going to leave that as such. Finally, WTI, new channel just about formed. Let's look for some bottom opportunities on the edges as they present themselves. Alright, that's pretty much the market. Anyone have any questions, please feel free to ask. Let me go and answer some of these ones. Give me a moment to read them and I'll answer them. Hi guys, I think I just pressed the wrong button. Can someone confirm that you can hear me, please? Thanks. Sorry, I hit a wrong button, so it's not my internet. I just actually muted you guys out. Alright, so what am I looking at? The US Swiss here. US Swiss, I'm not going to do anything. It's in no man's land. What I was saying before that you wouldn't have heard, the GBP AUD is a trade that's already happened. So zooming in on this one, GBP AUD, this is actually an engulfing situation there, which basically meant you would have entered your trade here, there was your stop, your second target has already been hit. Okay, let me just see, there's a couple of other questions, see if I can catch it. Someone's saying trade gold, but 1260 is a nice horizontal level. 1260, where's 1260? Okay, so someone's telling me that, you could possibly trade gold based off this. Give me a second. Okay, so using that old level, this level, try and trade it in this direction, I guess. Um, I did see that. It's already void because there's the inside candle, okay? But this candle has already broken on the upside, so therefore I cannot sell anymore, so I don't have a signal, okay? So that's that question. GBP CAD, one last, someone's asked me GBP CAD. Oops. GBP CAD, if you were trading this correctly, this would have been a body engulfing setup in this direction, which would have meant you've started your trade here. There's your stop. That definitely hits T1. Don't think it's hit T2. So nothing here. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. That's a wrap for today. I think I've got my screen on pause now. I've just kept hitting the wrong buttons. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm going to wrap up for today. I've gone on a little bit longer than what I wanted. If you do have any questions, please email us. More than happy to assist. Have a great trading week. Listen to the daily calls so you keep those charts coming. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.